All right, everyone. Welcome to the Babyface Breakdown.
Welcome.
We know we weren't here last week, but that's just because we had technical difficulties.
Yeah, couldn't get the dang site to work.
It wasn't either of our ends; it was the app itself.
Yep.
But we're back, and last week we were going to talk about our Royal Rumble predictions, but we never got to that, and now it's the day after the Royal Rumble, so
yeah. So just throw those in the toilet.
Yep. But if you don't know already, we're the Bad Brothers. I'm Big Bubba Brogdon.
I'm Boosh Dingo, the Luchadork.
And I guess let's just talk about news and maybe even Rumble.
Yeah, man. Yeah. We got a good couple of weeks worth of stuff, so should have plenty of things to talk about.
Yep. We have 2 weeks worth.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump back. Not this past week, but the week before. Did you watch the Bryan Danielson and Bandito?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you missed out, man.
Really?
Yeah, it was one of the better matches I've seen on AEW. It wasn't perfect, wasn't flawless. There were, a few minor issues with it, but overall, man, it was a great match. Definitely seek that out. I believe that was 2 weeks ago on Dynamite. But yeah, man, just a beautiful thing to watch.
I'm gonna have to take a look at it. I haven't watched a lot of AEW recently.
I skim if I get bored.
I was gonna say a lot of my attention has been in WWE for the past few days.
Yeah, well, build up to the Rumble. That's kind of how.
I watched the Briscoe match.
Yeah, Mark Briscoe and Jay Lethal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good match. I think it could have went maybe another 5 or 10 minutes. Felt a little short to me. But when you're closing out the show, I guess you got to go when you got to go. So yeah, it was a good match though, man. So Jay Briscoe passed recently in a pretty terrible car accident. I haven't heard any update, but last I heard, both of his daughters were in the vehicle with him, and they're in the hospital. I know one, I think I read, was having to have a back surgery. But yeah, man, total freak accident. Somebody merged, hit them head on, and Jay unfortunately did not survive that, man. 38 years old. Definitely one of the best wrestlers in the modern era for sure. One of the best tag teams probably of all time. So yeah, that's tragic and sad, man. Hate to see that. But yeah, apparently Tony Khan, AEW, stepping up. I know there was a lot of issues with Warner or whoever owns, I guess TNT, TBS, not wanting the Briscoes to be on the television programming for AEW, which is why we haven't seen the Briscoes sooner. And I think it's partially the fact that a lot of their beef was with Jay Briscoe. I don't think they really had any issue with Mark Briscoe, but obviously they come as a pair. So
yeah,
that's what kept them off AEW television. But I think Tony Khan wanted to do a tribute to Jay Briscoe and have Mark on the show. I think there was some pushback from the network, from what I read. But also from what I read, Tony Khan, kind of went to bat and fought him on it and managed to get a little little tribute and get Mark on the show. And it never ceases to fail, man. Wrestling fans are some of the weirdest people on the planet. You know, I've seen so many people, you know, wanting the Briscoes on AEW television ever since Tony Khan bought Ring of Honor. And then this happens. We get, you know, Mark Briscoe at least, and Jay, you know, and they showed a little video that they made for him, put his picture up and had all the wrestlers come out and, you know, wrestling fans complaining, saying that it was, you know, bad timing to do it. And the only reason it happened was because Jay passed, and just such weird folks, man. Yeah, I think, and too, from what I've read, you know, Tony Khan's been helping out that family. I know Pro Wrestling Tees put up a Jay Briscoe shirt and for sale. So if you want to support, you can go check out that shirt. Buy you one, buy you two, buy you 12. All the proceeds, 100% of the proceeds, are going to Jay Briscoe, to his family. So that's pretty cool, man. I mean, say what you will about AEW and Tony Khan, but I think they've, you know, Tony Khan cares about the business. He cares about the wrestlers. He's more than helped Brody Lee, John Huber, his family, and he seems to be, you know, doing the same for Jay Briscoe and his family. So
yeah,
happy to see that, man. I did see you know, some of the WWE wrestlers wearing Jay armbands, and
like Rollins and Owens and just
Viking Raiders,
all the people that have worked with him or have been in those companies that know him.
Yeah, so that's good to see as well, man. Sad, but Jay Briscoe versus Mark Briscoe, man, it was a good match. Yeah, I guess this week's AEW wasn't really a whole lot.
I mean, that was this week's Dynamite.
Yeah. I mean, the rest of the show, not really a whole lot else to really mention for real. Had some, I guess it's Brian Cage versus Bryan Danielson. Not a bad match.
I was hyped for that match, and I never got to see it.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't as great as it probably should have been, but it wasn't bad. Did I miss something with is Blackpool Combat Club? Is that done? Is that a finished thing?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, they had so MJF, Brian Cage attack Bryan Danielson after the match. You know, they're stomping him out pretty good, and it was Takeshita that came out for the save,
and not Blackpool Combat Club.
Yeah, which Moxley and Castagnoli I didn't see on the rest of the show, so I don't even know if they were there. But Yuta came out earlier in the show and challenged Adam Page to a match. So Yuta was there. But I just thought that was interesting that Takeshita was the one that came out for the save for Bryan Danielson and not any of the Blackpool Combat Club guys. So I don't know. I don't know if I missed, you know, they're just disbanded or.
I don't think I've seen anything on that.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't either. Last thing I really remember was, you know, William Regal betraying them and disappearing, and that was that. So not sure if that's still going or not, but it was weird that none of them came out to help him there. I guess the Ricky Starks, Action Andretti versus Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara. It was an okay match. There was a really cool spot where Ricky Starks did the rope walk, the Undertaker rope walk, with Chris Jericho. And Sammy Guevara climbed up on the corner and jumped over and hit Ricky Starks with a diamond cutter. So that was a really cool spot. Tony Storm versus Ruby Soho. Nothing special there. And that was about it as far as my recollection goes with Dynamite.
Okay, I didn't really watch Dynamite in total. I took my eyes completely to WWE and somewhat to Impact.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't catch this week's episode of Impact. I did get to finish up Hard to Kill. That was a pretty solid pay-per-view. Good to see Raven make an appearance and do some commentary. But yeah, watched NXT and I watched Raw. Didn't catch much of the Rumble yet. I've seen a bunch of clips. I did watch the men's Rumble match. And that was a pretty good Rumble. Pretty good match.
Very much surprised that number 29, who that was able to recover that fast and come on out.
29 was that Logan Paul?
That was Logan Paul.
Yeah. What about his spot with Ricochet?
That was an amazing spot.
Yeah.
A lot of things happened at the Rumble that made history. Between the women's and the men's Rumble. We have a new longest Royal Rumble men entrant.
Is that Gunther, I'm assuming?
Gunther, yep. So Rey Mysterio's record was 62 minutes, I believe.
Yeah.
Gunther was 80.
Did Ric Flair have the record before Rey Mysterio?
I think so.
So Flair, Mysterio, and now Gunther. Yeah, Gunther was impressive, man. He had a lot of good moments.
Honestly, the ending of the Rumble was pretty good.
Yeah.
I liked how they built up that Gunther could win and shock us.
Yeah, there was a point there. I mean, I was pretty solid there at the end that it was going to be Cody. There was a moment or two where I said, hold on a minute, like maybe they're going to pull a little swerve and have Gunther, because they built Gunther up pretty good. I think he's a formidable opponent for Reigns. Almost more believable than Cody, to be honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought for a moment there was a chance that would happen, but of course, Cody came out on top, came out the winner. I'm not sure if that's 100% the way I would have went with it, but looks like we're getting Cody and Reigns for WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. Unless Reigns splits up the titles.
Yeah, I mean, some craziness can go down between now and then. I doubt it, but we'll see.
I don't know. The Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
If they put one of the titles on the line at the Elimination Chamber, it could change.
Yeah.
And also, I believe the Usos will be defending their SmackDown, not unified titles, but only the SmackDown tag team titles, after they find a winner for the tag team bracket on SmackDown.
Yeah.
So, did you catch any SmackDown?
I did not, no.
Okay. Well, we'll start off with Raw. let's get onto the news about Raw or Raw XXX or Raw 30.
Yeah, Raw Triple X. Man, don't Google it. It was a bit of a letdown, honestly, in my opinion. They did a running like backstage poker thing with JBL and Corbin playing some poker games. The only cool thing about that, I did kind of guilty pleasure, maybe somewhat enjoy the $1 Million Man, an IRS segment. I thought that was pretty funny. So you had Corbin and JBL, I guess, win a hand of poker against $1 Million Man.
Mm-hmm.
And when they were collecting their winnings, IRS shows up and tells them, not to forget to pay their taxes. And then he took all their money except for $100 and, did their thing and ran off. That was an amusing moment. I enjoyed that. The rest of the poker segments didn't really hit or do anything for me. Usos versus Judgment Day. That was a decent match. It seems they cut Bailey versus Becky. They were supposed to actually have a cage match.
But Becky was attacked from behind by Damage Control.
Yeah, and
which I was a little upset about.
Yeah, I mean, I think on the one hand, you're kind of let down because you didn't get the cage match, but on the other hand, it seems like just better build, for the eventual cage match. So I'm now more interested in seeing the cage match than I was before. So I don't think it was necessarily a bad thing. Speaking of bad things, the DX segment was really, really hard to make it through, man. It was really bad. There were some amusing moments. You had them all come out, and nobody acknowledged, but Kurt Angle came out with them, and was kind of in the place of Billy Gunn. And so they do their entrance, they get in the ring, Road Dogg gets the mic, and he starts to do his introduction of the tag team, and then he turns and sees Kurt Angle there, Now, I mean, that spot doesn't really work very well if he doesn't know that Kurt Angle's going to be there, because obviously Billy's not, and that. So who are you about to introduce? So it doesn't make a lot of sense. But anyway, he turns and it's Kurt Angle, and so they all stop and they're like, "Kurt, what are you doing here?" And he's like, "Well, I always wanted to be in DX." And so he pulls off his shirt, and underneath it, he's got a DX shirt on. So then they just run with that, and Kurt Angle is now just hanging out with the DX crew. Imperium came out to shut him up, called them a bunch of degenerates, which sure, they call themselves degenerates. They're Degeneration X. Like, it's not really much of a not really much of a
an insult. It's kind of stating the obvious.
Yeah, that's their thing. That's what they do. So then basically Gunther challenges them, and this was mildly amusing as well, to have Triple H acts like he's about to get up in his face and throw down with him, and then he's like, "Nope, I'm retired." Yep, can't do it. And then they go through each member who's like, "No, I don't think so. I'm too old."
I think Road Dogg was the funniest.
Yeah. So then they get somebody to come out and fight Imperium in their place, and this is again, like I think it's it's wrestling, it's scripted. They all know what's going to happen, and they seem to kind of lean into that. And how they what I wish we had 3 guys, who could come out and handle this for us. And then Seth Rollins' music hits. He comes out and it's just Rollins, and I think maybe it was X-Pac or Road Dogg 1 that pointed out that it's 1 against 2 or 1 against 3. So now we need a team to come out, and then it's Street Profits. So Rollins, I get a little bit more because it's Rollins and he's awesome. Street Profits, though, that was a bit of a downgrade.
They're the only face tag team on Raw,
and that's sad that the only team that you have that could really fill that spot is the Street Profits, because they're not. I'm not big on Street Profits. I don't hate them, but
they could have called in the New Day. I would rather have had New Day than Street Profits.
I don't know. New Day's really wearing thin with me right now. Their Royal Rumble spot. Did you see that?
I think Kofi has botched 2 Royal Rumbles now.
Well, the botch, he tried to do his thing, and it obviously didn't go as planned. But that's bound to happen. But yeah, I'm talking
last
about
year too. He tried to hang on to the ledge and his feet slipped.
Yeah, I was talking about the weird 69 ass slapping thing that they did.
Oh, I actually found that amusing.
Yeah, you like that sort of thing?
They're the only ones that can get away with it.
I guess so, man. I don't think they got away with it. It was a strong urge to just bail and not even watch. It's like, what am I? It's one of those moments where you're sitting there watching it alone, and your parents walk in the room at exactly that moment. Like my wife walks in the room, and it's like that's what she sees. And it's just
it's like you just watched Brock and Bobby and all these guys find each other. When your wife walks in the room, it's Kofi and Xavier just
69 positions slapping each other's bums. Like, what is this? What are we doing? Come on, guys. Such an embarrassment.
Should have been Rumble XXX.
But yeah, the DX segment. I mean, pretty much that was it, and then they go into a match of Rollins and Street Profits versus Imperium, which was an okay match. Not anything, really to write home about, but yeah, that was pretty bad. Also had the court, the Bloodline court,
Trouble Court, yeah.
Yep. That was good. I think that probably goes without saying. Anybody that is a fan and knows, would not be surprised by that. Yeah, good segment, good build to what we got at Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jerry Lawler back on commentary for the show. I don't think he was there the entire show, but he was there for a little while, and that was cool. That was good. I like Jerry Lawler in the commentary. Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, Sonya Deville, horrible. I didn't think it could get any worse than the DX segment, but that Charlotte Flair segment takes the cake, man. That was bad. Yeah, that's basically my rundown of Raw, my takes from Raw.
What are your takes on NXT?
NXT. So I didn't take notes on that, so I might have to refresh on what all went down. I know there was a backstage vignette with Dijak and Wesley that I thought was pretty good. Pretty cool, just kind of like building to their eventual meetup for the is that the North American Championship?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like Wesley. I like the new Dijak character, so I'm in on that. That was good. Let's see, there was I'm drawing a blank on the names, but there was a tag match with the bar owner girl, Henley or something like that.
Fallon Henley and Kiana James versus Ivy Allen, Tatum Paxley.
Yeah, that was a decent match, man. I'm not super well versed on any of those people. I know the first two that you mentioned, Henley and
Kiana James.
Yeah, they've been rivals for a while now, and they were one of those like reluctant tag teams that gets thrown together and has to work together for that match. And they did a good job, and I think it landed on my tag team title opportunity. I think they're going after the women's tag team championships now. So that's cool. I mean, they seem to have some chemistry. So, let's see. I think there was some Chase U stuff, which I don't really pay a whole lot of attention to because I don't really get it.
The only thing I really liked from the match is all of JD McDonough's performance.
Yeah, JD McDonough is really good. I'm big on him.
Yeah. He's a heavy striker for such a small man.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's like heights 5'7", weighs less than 200 pounds.
Yeah, I got some Roderick Strong vibes.
Yeah. I mean, him and Ilya Dragunov are both from the UK, so. Well, he's from Ireland, and Dragunov's from Russia, actually. There was also Creed Brothers, Diamond Mine in action.
Yeah, I don't remember who they.
Gulak and Walker.
That's right. Yeah. The guy that wrestles in street clothes. I really don't like that. Just change out, put on some gear, man. But yeah, the match ended. Creed Brothers came out on top, and you had the.
I don't know what to call them.
Yeah, can't remember what they're called.
I don't think I have a name yet. I think it's just Veer, Sheer, and Mahal.
Yeah, I think they do have a name. I can't remember what it is, but yeah, they came out and challenged the Creed Brothers. Jinder Mahal cutting the promo there.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm glad Jinder Mahal is finally getting some more screen time because his character really flopped after the whole, with the Bollywood boys.
Yeah, I agree. But it seems to be a good fit for him, and I think he lends some credibility to the other two guys, and he's it's another reason to watch NXT. So yeah, good that they're doing something with him, not having him just hang out at catering.
Yeah, it is really good. We also had Wendy Chu versus Elektra Lopez.
Yeah. Not super familiar with the Lopez chick.
She used to be part of Legado.
Okay.
With Escobar and
yeah. She seemed decent. The Wendy Chu chick, I mean, I think she's got potential, but that gimmick has got to go, man. The sleepy chick with the onesie, the big baby gimmick.
Yeah.
I hate it. I really, really hate it. She seems like she's got potential though, man. She seems like she could go. So I'd keep her around, but you gotta give her something else to do.
Maybe a cowgirl.
Thinking Jimmy Wang Chang. Revisit that gimmick.
Oh yeah. Put her in a team with Fallon Henley.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure it would be amusing. I don't know how much more seriously I would take her, but I'll take a million.
So you'd have a lot of entertainment with her, like taking a step from. I can't get out of my head. I think it's a great idea.
I mean, it worked once before, and so it's good to just recycle things when you can.
If it fits.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, I think I would prefer. Wasn't she doing the like?
She was doing like this thing with Xia Li and Boa, where she was this
kind of a dark witch like character. Yeah, I would prefer something like that. Something like Su Yung was doing.
I think they've already done too much of that for me.
Yeah.
I think the dark side of NXT is finally like dissipating. The dark characters we have now need to stay and just keep getting wild, exciting characters. Because I remember that was a complaint from my friends because of NXT. They're like, we don't like to watch NXT. It's too dark now. It's way too dark. Characters are all the same.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. Could see that argument. I haven't been watching NXT for very long. I've only recently been like hitting it, every week. So
2017 to 2019 NXT was real dark.
Oh yeah. You go back a few years, especially when you had, you had Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family coming out of there. You had
Aleister Black. You had Tommaso Ciampa as the serial killer guy.
Yeah, Finn Balor.
Killian Dane, Insanity, Authors of Pain.
Yeah,
it's just dark after dark after dark.
Doing his demon thing. So yeah, I could see that, especially if you go back a little ways.
Even Kevin Owens being this ruthless monster that just would hurt people for fun. I think it's a good change.
Yeah, you definitely don't want too much of the same thing. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's really hard to like throw a gimmick on some of these people when you don't really know them. Because typically the best gimmicks are yourself turned up to 11. So hard to say what exactly like she would be good at, or what would be a good fit with her. I think the Jimmy Wang Chang gimmick might be the best thing we've come up with.
Mm-hmm.
That would definitely keep things light, but I don't know that WWE would ever go that route.
Who knows? Maybe someone from creative will watch this video.
Yeah, it's 2023. I don't know if they can get away with it.
Yeah, I think it'd be nice. I think people would accept it and like it. What else did we have on NXT? Did we have a championship match on NXT?
You had the Toxic Attraction Roxanne little segment where Gigi Dolan and JC Jane were kind of acting like they were having some discord and going at each other, only to team up and beat down Roxanne to end the show. So they actually, did a good job with that, man. They had me fooled for a moment. I thought they were breaking up Toxic Attraction. So
No, they're saving that for Vengeance Day.
yeah, but I mean, like I said, I bought into it, man. I thought they were actually splitting them up right then and there. So good on them for getting one over on me.
Sticking to it, yeah.
Yeah, they did good, man. All three of those girls deserve a round of applause for that one. It was a good segment too. I didn't skip it, so.
We also had Nikita Lyons getting ambushed in the parking lot.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. They just, are combing through the parking lot to find her laid out, screaming, grabbing her leg. And while they're doing that, you see probably about a good 20 people.
Just walking by.
Yeah, just getting out of their cars, walking by her, minding their own business, doing their thing. Like,
you see, one thing I looked back at the video, and Wendy Chu is eating popcorn out the window looking.
I didn't catch that, but yeah, I noticed there was a lot of people around and nobody really seemed to care.
No.
Yeah, and then of course, right when the camera catches up to her, you have two girls run up and try to help her, and like, get us
someone else.
Yeah, get some help. But even that, it's like nobody. You still saw people in the background who weren't. They just didn't care. Just going on about their business.
I think they're just trying to make us think, okay, so which one of them did it?
Yeah, it's the old.
It's probably gonna be Zoe Stark.
Yeah. Yep, this is the classic parking lot whodunit.
Rikishi.
It was Vince.
I just keep thinking back to all these moments. It's like Rikishi hitting Stone Cold, or like Eric Rowan hitting Roman Reigns.
Yep.
We need another segment like that.
Yeah.
Guess we'll move on to SmackDown.
Yeah. I think that.
I think that was all for NXT. I think this next NXT is the pay-per-view, if I'm not mistaken. So Friday Night SmackDown, the day before the Royal Rumble. Guess starting off the show, we had a pretty good match between Rey Mysterio and Karrion Kross. Uh-oh. I think we have some technical difficulties. Hold on. Just one moment, ladies and gentlemen. This never happened before. Well, this is very awkward. Hold on.
Hey,
Hey! What happened?
my computer crashed.
Oh!
Yeah, so thought we were doing good there with no technical difficulties, but apparently not.
Well, at least you found a way to get back in.
Yep. Well, we'll make it work.
Yep. Now, let's get back on track. We were talking about Friday Night SmackDown.
Yep.
So we had to start off the show, Rey Mysterio versus Karrion Kross. It was a decent match.
Yeah.
Wasn't anything too big or spontaneous, but Karrion Kross was able to kick out of a 619 frog splash. And it looks like Kross was going for the cross jacket, but Mysterio quickly got out of it and put Kross into a crucifix pin and pinned Karrion Kross.
Okay.
So, I mean, it was a good match, but I think this Kross and Mysterio thing is far from over.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's just starting up. I'm not sure where they intend to go with it, really.
I don't know either. I don't feel like, is it me or since Kross and McIntyre stopped, Kross has just not been used well?
I honestly, I don't think he's really been used well at all. From the beginning, since he's come back to WWE, I think I would go so far as to say they've pretty much dropped the ball with him completely. I don't know. There's probably tons of people out there who would disagree. I've read comments online. Some people are big on him. Some people are not. I really like the guy, man. I think he did great in Impact. I would have had him come in and be a force to be reckoned with. I think should be up there with Gunther and Reigns and Cody and which Drew McIntyre's no slouch. I think that was a good program to kind of kick things off.
Yeah.
And Rey Mysterio's a legend, of course, but I don't know. I don't really have any interest in the Rey Mysterio Killer Kross feud.
I don't either.
It's hard to really care about it. So yeah, I don't know, man. I think Kross and Braun Strowman, I'd say both of those guys since their return have been just wildly misused, and they both should be up at the top.
Yeah. I think Kross, would do better on Raw, honestly.
Yeah, or even, I mean, we see like some of the NXT stuff. We were just talking about NXT, and you got New Day going back down to NXT, and Jinder Mahal going over to NXT. I wouldn't have been opposed to putting either of those guys back on NXT for a little while.
Yeah.
Especially if we're going to treat NXT more like a third brand and less like developmental,
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't have been opposed to that, but yeah, I think Raw probably would have been a better fit for him.
Up next, we had Brock Lesnar in a feud with Bobby Lashley continuing, and Brock Lesnar declaring for the Royal Rumble. Now, that was a surprise to me.
Yeah. So Royal Rumble, you had Brock Lesnar get eliminated fairly quickly.
After one entrant.
Yeah, and it was Bobby Lashley to do it. I think that was a good call, though. Lesnar can't be the big beast forever, you know. And I don't know. I'd be willing to bet Lesnar's looking to do less WWE in the very near future. So,
I mean, he wants Vince to book his matches still.
Yeah, but I think kind of giving the rub to Lashley and having Lashley be the one to eliminate him was a good call. Because Lashley's good.
Next, we had Lacey Evans returning. And it looks like she's taking on a Sergeant Slaughter gimmick.
I mean, I think that's good. I think that's a good call.
I'm not going to lie. I'm not a big fan of Lacey Evans.
I wouldn't go so far as to say I'm a big fan, but I do like her.
No, I am not a big fan.
I think the like Southern Belle debutante kind of gimmick that she had at first when she first came around was pretty good. I would have stuck with that. I like the idea of the Sergeant Slaughter, military gimmick. I mean, as we touched on before, the best gimmicks are the ones that are really you being yourself, but just turned up to 11. So she has that background. I think it would be pretty awesome if they would bring in Sergeant Slaughter himself to manage her, coach her. They could do some, vignette video segments with the two of them. Have him come out to the ring, manage her. I really think that would put it over the top for me and make it something that I could, really get behind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've got to, you got to stick with her, and quit kind of putting her on, taking her off, changing up her gimmicks. Who is she? Just pick a direction and go with it. I think that's a big part of the problem with Lacey Evans.
But seems like she came back, took Sergeant Slaughter's move, the Cobra Clutch, and just beat a local competitor.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Next up, we were supposed to have a semifinals match between Hit Row and the Banger Bros.
The who?
And the name sticking. The Banger Bros. Sheamus and McIntyre.
The Brothers of Bang.
Nope. But the Viking Raiders came in and intervened and took out McIntyre and Sheamus before the match could start.
Yeah.
Hit Row thinks that they earned their way to a finals match because there was no competitors. However, Adam Pearce brought in a group of competitors, a team that he handpicked to replace them, which was the unlikely duo that has been going on for the past few weeks between Braun Strowman and Ricochet.
Yeah.
So Braun and Ricochet come in, and they just demolish Hit Row. And just the commentators in the back keep making fun of Top Dollar.
Yeah, I noticed a little bit of that at the Rumble. And, it seems like Ricochet and Strowman are going to kind of ride out the team for a little while, and that's going to be going on for a bit.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a bad deal, Their attributes are very, very different. They're two very different styles.
Kind of gives me Rob Van Dam and Kane vibes.
Yeah, I can see that.
Or like Big Show and Jericho.
Yeah. Yep. Freaking Owen and Yokozuna.
What would be their team name, though? Like the One and Only Monsters?
Doesn't fit well, but I could see WWE doing that.
Yeah. So we had that happen. We had LA Knight coming out later on with Bray Wyatt gimmick and having the Hawaiian shirt and the like a mini lantern making fun of Wyatt.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
And we had a little episode of the Firefly Funhouse come on.
Oh yeah, they did Firefly Funhouse.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. I wouldn't have expected that. How did that go?
Oh, it went well. It went as well as expected. I think the Fiend is officially done as a character.
Yeah, I did see an interview with Bray Wyatt at some point last week where he was pretty much, putting the last nail in that coffin, saying the Fiend's not coming back. So,
which I mean, it's heartbreaking for me because the Fiend was a really cool character. I got really excited when he came out, but I understand the circumstances.
Yeah, I mean, with everything that's gone down, I mean, it I don't know. It makes sense to move on, and it's not like they can't ever go back to that. Never say never, especially in wrestling. I mean, but yeah, I think it's a good call to just move on to what they're doing now.
Yeah. After that, we had another semifinals tag team match between Imperium and Legado del Fantasma, which Imperium just whooped their tail most of the night.
Yeah. Imperium seems to be treated pretty well.
Well, yeah, they're a really good team. Kaiser and Vinci, they're a really good team.
Yeah.
I remember their singles runs before they become Imperium.
Yes, I couldn't. I mean, I've seen some of the Imperium stuff. Don't recall really seeing any of their singles runs. I couldn't even tell you what their names were, 2 minutes ago. So,
I remembered Marcel Barthel was Kaiser. Who was Giovanni Vinci? Because Gunther used to be Walter.
right.
Forgot what Giovanni Vinci was. He'll come back to me. Maybe. Fabian Eichner. So
Okay.
it's Eichner and it was Eichner and Barthel.
Those names do sound familiar.
So that was their NXT run.
Right.
That's when they were doing solo stuff. But yeah, so they advanced, and then the final thing of the night was Solo Sikoa versus Kevin Owens. It was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sami Zayn interfered to get Solo Sikoa out of the pinfall. I think Kevin Owens attacked Solo with a steel chair, making Solo win by DQ. And KO looked like he was going to hit Sami with the chair, but decided not to. So
cool. Sounds like a good build to Royal Rumble.
Yeah. Which want to talk about Impact before Rumble?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really watch it, so you'll have to take the lead there if you want to do the rundown.
It's all right. So you had Zicky Dice to start out Impact with Johnny Swinger versus was it Charlie Bravo? Charlie Bravo. Carly Bravo? How do they pronounce his name?
I'm not sure. I don't.
Because there's no H for Charlie, so it's got to be Carly. It's Carlie.
I mean, that sounds like Carly.
Yeah. Weird name. But we had that happen first off, which I don't know anything about either of them. For me, I think it was a weak match to start out on for me.
Yeah, I mean,
But it was a pretty good match. It's just no major name to start off the night.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny Swinger's a classic guy. Been around for a while, but he's kind of a joke. Zicky Dice, I enjoy, but he's also, I mean, kind of a joke gimmick. Not to be taken too seriously. So
Okay. Second match I actually was excited about was for an X Division championship between the champion Trey Miguel and the 73-year-old Action Mike Jackson.
yeah, yes, we talked a little bit about him on the last show. I believe he wrestled at Hard to Kill. He was on the pre-show. I did not watch the pre-show.
I did.
Yeah. I was stoked to see the guy. If I'd have known he was on the pre-show, I would have sought it out. But I thought it was part of the main show. So I made it through it and realized that I never saw him. So then I looked it up, and yeah, it was the pre-show.
Yeah. So it looked like Miguel put away Mike Jackson in the end of it. It was a really good match. And then looks like Crazy Steve was underneath the ring and attacked. And so Trey Miguel was fighting off Crazy Steve. And then Black Toros comes in from the ramp.
Right.
And scares off Miguel.
Sounds good.
So we had that happen. And then we had Jason Hotch and John Schuyler, the Good Hands, versus Kushida and Kevin Knight.
Okay. I'm not familiar with Kevin Knight. Is that what you said?
Kevin Knight.
Yeah, not familiar with him.
And not either. This is the first time I've ever heard his name or seen him. Looks like he's more from the New Japan line of work.
Okay.
African American wrestler. Looks like he's got a lot of work in New Japan. Yeah, a lot of New Japan Strong and So Kushida ends up getting the win after the match, and seems like Santino. Oh, I'm too far ahead. We had a little thing happen with Santino Marella with Gisele Shaw. Santino Marella is giving her a tag team partner against the Knockouts World Tag Team Champions, Death Dolls. And so he gives her the partner, was it Miley Miracle?
Not sure.
Who was it? Oh, Tara. Yeah, I didn't watch the Knockouts women's match.
Yeah, I mean, knockouts are pretty good, but that seems like one I probably would have skipped as well.
I think I skipped all the way to the Major Players versus Bullet Club match. So we had Matt Cardona and Brian Myers versus Ace Austin and Chris Bay.
Okay.
And overall, it was a pretty good match. It was two heavy hitters versus two good high flyers. I think also after the match, after the match, the Impact Television champion Joe Hendry had a little song written for Cardona.
Yeah, I did did catch that on social media. That was pretty good.
I enjoyed that. I think you sent it to me, and I was like, okay, yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
But
that was pretty funny.
that's actually one of the reasons I had to watch Impact. Was because his song.
I'm gonna try and switch back over to the laptop now. So see if I can.
But it looks like Cardona and Myers are going to have an unlikely relationship with Moose to take out Hendry.
Yeah.
Which Moose has really fallen off, in my opinion.
He's a really bad promo, man. He needs somebody to talk for him.
He needs someone to talk for him. He's main event material a little bit. He's main event material. His body really shows that he can move in the ring and compete, but man, he's always been bad on the mic.
It really drags him down. Hold on for 1 sec. Let's see.
All right.
All good?
Yep, all good. All right. And it's a good thing because we get to talk about the last match that ended that night out. And that was a golden six-shooter match between Rick Swann, Callahan, Moose, Chris Sabin, Eddie Edwards, and Rhino to determine the number one contender to the Impact World title.
Yeah.
And I do like the storyline they're having for Callahan right now with the design.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested to see how that goes down. Yeah, we talked a little bit about that whenever Young left. Looks like he's going over to WWE. We had Diener kind of take over the role of leader there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to see how that goes down. So, going after Sami Callahan.
Yeah. And so the one to come out on top was Swann. I bet you already knew that, though, because he's headlined the pay-per-view with Alexander.
Yeah.
But looks like Callahan and the design jumped Swann, and Impact was going off air as Alexander and Kazarian came to help Swann.
It's good. I'm glad Kazarian is back in Impact.
Mm-hmm.
He'll have a better spot there than he did in AEW.
I think so. Looks like we got all that news out of the way, though. I didn't catch any of Rampage.
Yeah, I haven't watched Rampage in months.
Again, I've watched AEW all week. I was excited for the Brian Cage match. I never got to watch it. Hopefully, I'll be able to watch the Thatcher versus Brian match.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Thatcher's a.
Yeah, I called I think his match recently at the Noah event.
Mm-hmm.
That was really I've heard the name but never really been exposed to him, and that was the one thing I did see that I really enjoyed. So yeah, when they announced Yeah, Danielson versus Thatcher. I'm pretty stoked for that.
I am too.
That's next week on Dynamite.
I think it's either next week on Dynamite or next week on Rampage.
Okay. So hopefully Dynamite.
Now to the grand finale. We can talk about the Royal Rumble.
Yes, sir.
I want to start off with saying that I have a conspiracy theory going around that Cody Rhodes is not the Royal Rumble winner.
Yeah.
Because Rey Mysterio never entered the ring.
Yeah, I mean, aren't there a couple of other past, I guess, Royal Rumbles where they had somebody never get eliminated?
Yeah, like Macho Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a few of them. So I don't know if I don't know if technically that counts.
Well, I don't know because Cody Rhodes jumped over the top rope at the end while celebrating and put both feet on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean if you're getting technical about it, I guess that would make Rey Mysterio the winner.
Yeah.
Yeah, Curtis Axel. Yeah, he was the one that I was thinking of. Because they even did like a callback to that. I think at the following year at the Rumble, somebody pointed out that he was like the longest. He held the record for being in the Rumble the longest because he was still in it. Like it was still it's just still ongoing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rey Mysterio, I guess, never was eliminated. He never went over the top rope.
Never even made to the ring.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how that works if he never entered the ring, then I guess he can't really win the match if he wasn't in it. So
then we had a few surprise entrants. There was Booker T.
Yeah, Booker T probably should have sat that one out. I don't know. I didn't think he looked very good, man. I think he looked a little slow. Looked a little. I don't know. He just didn't have it.
I mean, he's like 50 something.
Yeah, and props for that. But he didn't really do much of anything of note. That really.
He didn't eliminate anyone. He just did spin a Rooney.
Yeah. It was a totally. I don't know.
I think it might have been a waste of a spot that could have gone to. I don't know.
Yeah, it's someone. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. It's like it felt like a wasted moment, a wasted spot. It wasn't anything special. You could have completely left that out, and I wouldn't have missed anything. So, but I mean, I don't know. I've never been a huge Booker T fan, so maybe there's some big Booker T fans out there who really enjoyed, seeing him come out and spin around for a moment. So.
Yeah. We had Dominic Mysterio and the Judgment Day all in the Rumble. All my friends were like, dude, why the heck is this guy have a mullet? Because none of them really watch wrestling.
Yeah. I mean, you've got the Eddie Guerrero stuff, which is obvious, but mullets have kind of made a bit of a comeback. It's what all the cool kids are these days.
What I did find really surprising was also number 29, the return of Logan Paul.
Yeah, and Logan eliminated Seth Rollins. Had a pretty awesome spot with Ricochet as well. I think that spot with Ricochet was probably one of the highlights of the match for me.
They both got mad height when coming off that springboard.
Oh yeah.
You can just hear the clap of both of their bodies.
Yep. Yeah, it was a good spot, good moment. Logan Paul eliminating Seth Rollins. Stayed in for a little while. He wasn't eliminated too quickly.
No. Yeah, had a pretty good spot with Cody.
Yeah. Yeah, I like
There's
Logan
at
Paul.
one point where I was like, please don't let Logan win this.
I don't know. I wouldn't have necessarily been opposed to that, man. That Roman Reigns Logan Paul match from last year was one of the best matches of the year, in my opinion, man.
It was a good match to end out the year.
Yeah, so I wouldn't have been mad at that, to just revisit that and have a rematch between the two. Which I think should happen anyway. Like, I think they should have a rematch. So
I think they're setting up Logan and Seth at Mania.
yeah, which I'm down for it, man. That should be a great match as well.
Yeah.
So not crazy about the guy as a personality, but dude's a good wrestler. So he's a good sports entertainer, I should say.
He's a good entertainer. But yeah, and then we had a new record for the men's Royal Rumble. Rey Mysterio no longer holds the longest men's Rumble record. Is now Gunther.
Or does he? If Rey Mysterio wasn't eliminated, he's still in the Rumble right now, man.
You know what? You're right. I'm trying to look at the exact time though.
Yeah, Gunther had some pretty good spots as well. And I think he slammed Strowman at one point, had a pretty good slam on him. So I think it was Strowman that eliminated almost.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
So.
Yeah. Good call there as well.
I can't get an exact number, but they said it's lasting over 80 minutes.
80 minutes?
So that's about 20 minutes over the record.
Yeah, well, I think said Ric Flair held it before Rey Mysterio, and I remember Ric Flair's record was over an hour. It was 60 minutes, 62 minutes.
Okay, Mysterio's was 62, and he was the longest until last night.
Yeah. So Ric Flair and Rey Mysterio must have been pretty close.
But there's one record that can never be broken. That's Santino Marella's fastest Rumble time.
I mean, was that like 1 second?
1.3 seconds.
That's pretty impressive.
I mean, Chelsea Green's definitely a contender, lasting only 2.5.
Yeah. So she debuted, made her return at the Rumble, right?
Mm-hmm. It's her second Rumble, and short-lived.
Yeah. Wonder what that might mean for Cardona. There's a lot of rumors going around.
I was pretty upset that Cardona was in the Rumble.
I expected him because I'd heard about Chelsea Green being in the women's Rumble. I had that spoiled for me before I sat down to actually watch the men's Rumble. So yeah, I was half expecting Cardona to come out and at least be in the Rumble.
I thought it would be crazy to see Cardona.
Yep.
After reinventing himself and making himself a bit more famous in the indie scene, come back.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's Cody Rhodes all over again. Story.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he, comes back to WWE sometime soon. Yeah, if I were him, I'd keep riding the indies for maybe another year, and make WWE pay some big money.
Maybe. John,
I hope that's not the case. I like the.
I would hate Chelsea Green if she turned into a Karen.
I mean, especially if it's like an annoying Vicky Guerrero type character.
Don't remind me of her screams.
Excuse me.
It's louder and more ear piercing than that, you know.
Oh yeah. I got a 1-year-old asleep in the next room, so it's the best I can do for you.
Oh God. Speaking of returns, number 30 for the Women's Rumble was quite a surprise. I don't think anyone saw that one coming.
Let me guess. We're referring to Nia Jax.
Nia Jax.
Yeah. Didn't she botch her entrance and botch like 2 spots in the match?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she came out before the timer even hit 10.
She's awful.
She's bad.
Yeah. And you know that thing that Scott Steiner said.
I don't think it works the same for women.
Oh, it does.
Oh no.
It definitely does.
Wait.
Yeah, look it up. I was quite surprised by that. I don't really understand. I mean, it's got to be the family thing, man, because she is not good. I don't understand why WWE brought her back.
She is not a good wrestler.
No.
She's not even good on the mic.
No.
She's just a big woman.
I mean, is that okay to say?
It's better than what you were about to say.
I didn't say it, man. Scott Steiner said it.
You knew what you were gonna say. Don't put this on me. All right.
Yeah, I don't think anybody saw that coming though.
No. Thankfully, though, they eliminated her quick, so we didn't have to look at her for too long.
Thankfully. Who eliminated her?
Everyone.
Everyone?
All 11 of them.
I'm sure it took all 11 of them too.
Instead of Rhea versus Nia, though, they could have put Piper Niven or Piper Niven versus Nia Jax.
Is that Dewdrop?
Dewdrop, yeah. But they went back to Piper, which I'm real happy about. Because Dewdrop is a terrible name that has a terrible meaning.
Oh, it's bad. Yeah, it's real bad.
When I remember looking at what the name meant, and I was like, oh, they do not like this woman.
I don't know what it means. I apparently am not hip to that like alternative meaning there, because I'm thinking with an innocent mind. I like her though, so I mean I'm not gonna say the thing that Scott Steiner said.
So Dewdrop in the Urban Dictionary is a fat lesbian.
Oh, wow, you know that.
Yeah, so Vince really didn't like her.
That's actually, I mean, I don't know. That's kind of funny. That's now that
horrible,
I know
man.
What is? Just from the like standpoint of knowing Vince and just kind of he came up with that himself and got a huge kick out of it, and just one of those weird things that Vince does to amuse himself. So in that sense, you know, I find it amusing.
Yeah, but Niven's actually really talented, and to have something like that weigh so much on her.
I mean, I agree. That's what I said, you know, a minute ago. I like her. I think she is talented. So I'm not gonna call her a dewdrop. I'm not gonna give her the Nia Jax treatment. So
yeah. But the winner of the men's rumble was, of course, Cody Rhodes. What'd you say?
Yes. I just said she gets respect. So
yeah.
For me at least, but apparently not Vince.
No.
That's
So
my
Cody
respect.
Rhodes.
My respect is a little bit easier earned than Vince's, apparently.
Yeah. We know how Vince likes to get his earned.
Yeah. We probably can't talk about that on YouTube.
No. It'd be Vince XXX.
Don't Google that.
No. Do not Google that one. Vince, he didn't age well. From, I guess, on-screen misogyny.
I mean, setting the on-screen stuff aside, just the rumor, backstage stuff that I've heard is, man, incredible.
Makes that, but I believe there's a clip of Vince McMahon saying the N-word on live television.
Oh yeah, and getting away with it too.
Getting away with it.
Yeah.
And
if anybody could, it's Vince.
And the era of do-rag Vince, where he was ECW champion, he had the do-rag and started talking like he's a hoodlum.
Yeah. I mean, again, the stuff that I've heard, the rumors, the backstage stuff, man, it makes all the on-camera, stuff that he's done just seem like child's play.
It's terrible, man. But yeah,
I mean,
Royal Rumble was fun. Yeah, the Royal Rumble was fun. A lot of things I didn't like about it was the number of spots that were filled in by tag teams and not singles competitors. I think that's the thing that I always haven't liked about the Rumble.
I mean, it has its, I guess, merits. You saw with Judgment Day having 3 members in. I mean, it does add an interesting element to the show because to the match because you have people working together, ganging up, and then also sometimes you have friction between those team members if it gets to a moment where it's down to just them and one of them has to be eliminated, or if there's an accidental elimination, at some point where one teammate accidentally eliminates the other teammate. So I don't know. I mean, it can be a beneficial thing.
Yeah, but I just mean so many other competitors, like singles competitors, could have taken places of tag teams that came in, like Alpha Academy or Street Profits, which they didn't really do anything together. They were coming in separately.
Right.
So that could have been 4 extra spots opened up.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have been okay with Street Profits not being around. I did enjoy both Gable and Otis in that match. Man, I liked how Gable came into the match, hit a move, and then shushed the guy that he, hit the move on, and then hit a move on another guy, shushed him. Just amusing. Otis doing the worm and doing his little body gyration thing that he was doing there. Amusing, man. So I wouldn't have given up Alpha Academy being in the Rumble per se. I enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm. But overall winner was Cody Rhodes, which he came in at number 30, which I thought was weird. I would have rather him come in earlier.
Yeah, I thought that was weird too. I would have had him come in earlier, but I think they had the first ever final 2 being the number 1 entrant and the number 30 entrant. So I really think that's the reason that they did it. Just so they could have, a historical moment that they could, a first that they could kind of tout. So.
Yeah. Then after that, we had the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match between Bray Wyatt and LA Knight.
Yeah, I didn't catch any of that. I did see the ending. I did see some clips from the match. Looked pretty cool. At first, the first thing I saw was kind of like the arena, the ring, the setup, and it just looked like everything was black light, which seemed kind of lame. But once I saw Bray Wyatt's makeup, face paint, body paint, attire, all that stuff, it really became intriguing to me.
Yeah, when the lights went out, I saw the body paint, and I was like, okay, this is getting interesting.
Yep.
That's a face that'll haunt my nightmares.
Yeah.
He came in and he had the black mascara and stuff. I was like, what? What's he going for? And then the lights turn out, and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, man. I've never seen anything quite like that. So,
I mean, it's just it's so good. And I hate people that say, like, it sucked. It was terrible. I hate when Bray Wyatt does matches like this. I'd rather him wrestle. I'm like, dude, Bray Wyatt puts on excellent matches with gimmicks.
oh, and at this point, I mean, that's what you're getting from Bray Wyatt. Like, I don't know why anybody would expect Bray Wyatt to just come out and wrestle. You're getting theatrics. You're getting, you're getting so much more with Bray Wyatt. So, if you don't like that, if that's not your thing, man, just skip it.
Yeah. I mean, I thought the match was excellent.
Yeah, I'm stoked to watch it. I might try to sneak that in tonight. If not, I'll catch it tomorrow. And
then you had Uncle Howdy jumping off and doing an elbow drop, which I think we know is Bo Dallas.
I think it's got to be, man. That's what all my money's on.
You had all the Firefly Funhouse friends watch the flames. So, I just think this whole thing's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of the more interesting things going on in WWE right now.
I mean, I love The Fiend.
Yeah.
When he introduced The Fiend, I thought it was genius.
Yep.
Thought it was like a super dark, twisted thing that Bray Wyatt, even at Raw 30, we've seen Bray Wyatt and The Undertaker. I think we have modern day Undertaker right now in Bray Wyatt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, people have been saying that for years. And I think seeing Raw this past week, he had a little moment where it definitely seemed like Undertaker was passing the torch.
Yeah. So that was an excellent match. I did not watch the Belair Bliss match. Sorry, tongue twisted. I wasn't very interested in it.
No, I wouldn't fault you for that. I
like it. Belair ended up retaining like I thought she would, and looks like Bliss is going to join with Wyatt again.
Yeah, I like Alexa Bliss. I'm not really big on Belair, so I probably would have will skip that, especially after you not really giving it any high praise. I don't really have any reason to watch.
And then we had the Women's Royal Rumble where my homegirl Rhea Ripley wins.
Good call.
I got so excited.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Rhea Ripley fan, but I do like her. And I think that was probably the best decision to make.
That's the only thing from last night that made me jump out of my chair in excitement.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Asuka can win if she wants to. I just don't want Liv to win. There was the three of them that lasted. It was Asuka, Liv, and Rhea.
Yeah, I did see that. The finish was pretty good. You had Asuka hit Liv Morgan in the face with the mist.
But blue mist.
Yeah, blinding her. As they were both on the outside of the apron. And then Rhea Ripley Rhea Ripley eliminated Asuka.
Mm-hmm.
And
it looked like Liv had eliminated Rhea, but Rhea Ripley ended up eliminating Liv.
Yeah, it was close. Liv still blinded by the mist. She had a code breaker on Rhea.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? And Rhea slips. Feet did not touch the floor though, so she's hanging onto the ropes. And Liv comes over to try and like pry her hands off the ropes, and Rhea pretty much just threw her legs up there and grabbed Liv by her neck and swung her off into the floor to win. I thought it was a good ending to the match.
I did too. I was super excited.
Yeah, I knew, once Asuka, once her feet hit the floor, I knew it was going to be Rhea. I didn't think they were going to go with Liv again. Mm-hmm. That was a nice little experiment that didn't really work. So I don't think they'll be going back to Liv anytime soon.
So I was real happy about that. A lot of surprises in the women's match for me. One was Asuka when she came out.
Yeah.
You had talked about this before where she was like going back to her New Japan stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When she came out and she revealed the face paint, I was like, oh, it's going to get real.
Yeah, I dig it, man. And I'm glad that's back, because we had that one moment not too long ago where she took off her kabuki mask and there was no face paint.
Mm-hmm.
And it just didn't feel right. And like I said, back then it felt like she wasn't that into it. And we talked about the possibility of her, just dropping the face paint and going in a different direction, which I'm glad is not the case.
She's
the
going
face paint
full
looked
New
good.
Japan.
Yeah, I dig it, man. Hopefully there's some big things for her soon, because that's another one that I would say would probably be a dropped ball, missed opportunity, because Asuka was undefeated so long and had a great NXT run, and just kind of dwindled, fizzled out on the main roster.
Yeah, but thankfully we had this happen, and it's just she's reinventing herself along with a lot of other wrestlers that just never got that type of treatment.
Yeah.
So it's good. But the final match of the night, and I'll talk about this more than really anything, is Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. And not necessarily because of the match, but just because of the Sami Zayn storyline. I mean, we knew Roman was going to win. Ugh, I need water.
Yeah, I haven't really kind of, I guess, the unfortunate thing. I haven't watched that match, but I did see the aftermath, the ending. I haven't really heard any, thing about the match. I haven't heard if it was good, if it was bad. Nobody's talking about the match. Everybody's talking about the aftermath.
The match was good. Owens botched in the middle of it. He went for like a swap moonsault, and he missed the rope, slipped, and hit the back of his head on the mat.
Oh, no.
And Roman was supposed to move out of the way, so Roman moved out of the way. And so Owens hit his head on the back of the mat, and then Roman rolled back to where he's supposed to be. And Owens hits him with like a running bomb, like to put him down again, and gets back on the rope, doesn't do the flip thing, just goes for a straight moonsault, and then Roman rolls out of the way like he's supposed to do, and Roman hits the mat, and Kevin Owens hits the mat correctly.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty funny that the move was botched, and Owens tried to sell it as well, and then was midway like, no selling it, and then game back up.
Okay.
So that's my biggest takeaway from the match in total. I just remember mostly just the segment afterwards, which is excellent.
Yeah, I mean, been wondering for a while how this bloodline stuff was going to play out, and we finally got there, and it was worth the wait, man, and definitely interesting to see what happens from here. But yeah, she had I guess Roman, the bloodline beating down Kevin Owens and trying to get Sami Zayn to hit Kevin Owens with a chair. He wouldn't do it. So, Sami got provoked. I think Roman's shoved him in the face. So Sami turned around and hit Reigns in the back with the chair. Took a super kick from one of the Usos.
Jimmy, because Jay was distraught. Jay actually walked out on the bloodline beating down Sami and Owens. He didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Which
is surprising,
is real fun.
Yeah, it makes for some more interesting storytelling. Now we're kind of intrigued to see how that's going to play out. So, yeah, it was a good call, man. Everybody's talking about it. That's definitely the highlight of the night, the most talked about thing from the Rumble for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, who knows what's going to happen? I don't know if Cody's going to face Reigns at Mania for the title, or if Reigns is going to drop the title to someone else and Cody faces someone else, and Sami faces him, or if Sami and Owens faces the Usos, or I don't know.
Yeah. Be interesting to see, man. I mean, I'm definitely, I think you mentioned before, you've been on a WWE kick past couple of weeks and not really catching too much AEW. I mean, I think that's kind of where I'm at right now as well, after what's gone down with, the Bray Wyatt stuff and the Bloodline stuff and Cody's back. Yeah, I'm a bit more excited to catch WWE this week, and
it's just more interesting.
Yeah, I think AEW will still have some standout matches. They have, we touched on Bryan Danielson versus Thatcher coming up. So I think there'll still be some stuff that I'm catching there, but AEW's storytelling, booking decisions recently have not been very good.
Not at all.
Yeah, still have some good matches here and there, but yeah, right now the booking decisions, the storytelling, not so great. So, and it goes like that, with both companies, pretty much all wrestling companies. It's very much a roller coaster, ups and downs, man. There's good times and bad. But yeah, I think for me the pendulum is swinging back in the WWE direction. So I'm happy to say that.
Yeah. Well, is that it?
Yeah, I mean that's all I got. I did see. I don't know when the clip is from. There's a clip going around of Seth Rollins being asked about CM Punk. Yeah,
You sent me that.
yeah. Anybody that's out there that hasn't seen it, see if you can track that down. I I had a pretty good laugh about that, man. Not just because of what's being said, but because it's Seth Rollins and Seth being Seth and saying it the way that he said it. But yeah, interviewer asked Seth Rollins if he wanted Phil Brooks, CM Punk back in the WWE, and
Stay far away.
yeah, stay far away from me forever. Called him a cancer. Said he was a jerk in Ring of Honor, jerk in WWE, and so yeah, that was pretty interesting. Good little clip that's been going around. So yeah, I don't know much else. That's about it for the week.
Yeah, I mean, John brings up something pretty that I noticed as well. Just like the entire crowd, that segment went wild for Sammy hitting Roman, and then when Roman and all them attacked him, just the entire crowd turned on the Bloodline.
Oh yeah, which I mean, I think a lot of the enjoyment that I've seen, in the Bloodline is just people enjoying that it's good storytelling. I don't think. I don't know. I don't know if people have been like solidly behind Reigns.
I think this was the only way that WWE could get the fans to hate Roman.
Oh yeah, and I mean, from what I've read too, none of what's gone down with the Bloodline since Sami Zayn has been predicted or scripted, or like WWE did not intend on telling this story the way that they've told it. Sammy getting over the way that he did, the fan response, kind of forced WWE to go a slightly different direction, rewrite some things. Basically, def to get some more legs out of the story.
Mm-hmm.
The story was supposed to go on this long. But I mean, really, that's in wrestling, man. Whenever, that's why I love being a fan. That's why I love, going to shows. And I think the fans have the ability to influence the product a lot more than any other, sporting event.
Yeah.
Influence the outcomes, influence the direction, telling the matches, all of that. So, and I think that's a good example. The Bloodline stuff, the Sami Zayn stuff. That's a good example of fans, really kind of altering the course of the story. But yeah, I think successful, man. Sami Zayn comes out of it a bigger star than he was going into it. More over, more popular. Reigns has more heat than he did prior. So, yeah, it's win-win for everybody.
At an hour and 45 minutes, we've covered this whole week and the Rumble, minus a few AEW things.
And a little bit of last week.
And a little bit last week. But I think that's going to do it for today's show.
Yeah. Well, still had a few technical difficulties this week, but nothing too bad. So
Nothing show ending.
right. So yeah, hopefully we'll be back next week with no technical difficulties.
Right. Until then, thank you all for watching. Thank you, John, for commenting and talking with us.
Yeah.
We'll see you all next week. I'm Big Bubba Brogdon.
I'm Boosh Dingo, the Luchadork. You guys have a good week.
Bye, y'all.